Hey there, welcome back to Next Step Ministries, and today we're going to be discussing an interesting question, especially for those who might be not really sure uh, where the truth is in the world anymore. Um, if you're a student or a college student or just young adult trying to figure out your place in the world, this is for you. And I'll tell you what, I have been watching some videos and I am motivated. I am motivated because there is some confusion out there about what Jesus is all about, what the Bible is all about, and I want to help clear up some murky water. Today we're going to ask the question, it's big. Why follow Jesus in 2025? Why? The world, it's moving fast, faster than it ever has before. There's wars going on everywhere. AI, politics, culture wars, race wars. There seems to be a war happening in our own country between political positions. And in the middle of it, people are asking what's true and what's not true. Who can I trust? We're living in a time where truth feels like it's up for debate. Think about that for a sec. Truth up for debate. Now, some of you might think, when I first heard that sentence, I said, okay, well, what about what's true to me and what's true to somebody else? Can't we surely debate that? No, I'm talking about real truth. I'm talking about rock solid truth. Like water's wet. The sky is blue during the day and there's no clouds in the sky. See, there is truth that exists. We are on a planet that is in space. That is a truth. We can all agree to that. But we're living in a time where truth feels like it's up for debate. Headlines are shifting daily. Social media is shouting thousands of different opinions, but Jesus warned us that this would happen. In John chapter 14, verse 6, Jesus said, I am the way and the truth and the life. That none comes to the Father except through me. On Hebrews 13:8 says Jesus Christ is the same yesterday and today and forever. Second Timothy chapter 4, 3 through 4. For the time will come when people will not put up with sound doctrine. Instead, to suit their own desires, they will gather around them a great number of teachers to say what their itching ears want to hear. They will turn their ears away from the truth and turn aside to myths. Matthew 24, 4 through 5. Jesus said, watch out that no one deceives you. For many will come in my name, claiming I am the Messiah, and will deceive many. Then here, verse 10 At that time, many will turn away from the faith and will betray and hate each other. And many false prophets will appear and deceive many people. Because of the increase of wickedness, the love of most will grow cold. Interesting, right? It's interesting because that's what we're seeing. Everything here is what we're seeing in the world today. And this was written thousands of years ago. Paul and Jesus both predicted times of deception, confusion, and rejection of truth. And that's the era that we're stepping into, and why Jesus is so necessary right now. In 2025, truth is harder to recognize than ever, and people chase influencers, gurus, political saviors, and even AI for guidance. I would even say politicians. But the Bible says that this was coming, and times when people wouldn't want God's truth, but would chase whatever feels good in the moment. And the danger is deception always looks good at first. And that's why following Jesus is so different. He doesn't just give information, he gives transformation. His truth never changes. Think about how easy it is to believe a lie online. Deep fakes, AI voices, fake headlines. It's getting to a point where you don't know if something that you're watching actually happened. It's harder than ever to tell what's real and what's fake. And Jesus warned in Matthew 24 that deception would spread and people's love would grow cold. What does that look like? Well, I would say love and empathy, love for each other, empathy, sympathy. And I think that living in a world where deception is running rampant is bound to be a world that has a loss of love. When you don't know what's real or fake, it's like you don't know what emotions should be felt. Even now, as videos are coming out saying that people think that there's a conspiracy behind Charlie Kirk's death, and that the charged shooter isn't actually the shooter, and all of this, and it mixes up emotions to the point where you almost grow cold and calloused about what actually happened, which is that Charlie got shot in the throat and he died. But in the middle of the chaos, we have one unshakable truth: Jesus Christ, who never changes. And to follow Jesus in 2025 is to walk against the current. It's to walk against the crowd. When everyone else is swayed by lies, disciples stand on truth. And here's your challenge. Compare everything you hear online with the Bible. And ask yourself, is this truth or is it deception? And this week, read Matthew 24. It's Jesus' own words about the end times. Watch how much it feels like it is today. How it's matching today's headlines. And as Christ's disciples, what is your next step with Jesus? What is your next step? What will it look like? It could be as simple as taking your first step with Jesus. And if that's the case, it's as simple as praying a prayer and asking Him to change your heart, and that you want to surrender your life to Him, and that you want to confess all of your sin and start your journey with Him. It could be to take responsibility for what you know to be sinful in your life. It could be to become a disciple, to become a student of Christ. Will you keep chasing what sounds good? Or will you anchor yourself in what is true? Because in the world of deception, Jesus is the only truth. That doesn't shift, that doesn't change. What will you do? What is your next step? My prayer to you, that the Lord will keep you, and that He may know you, and that you may know Him, and that you will love Him. You will understand His love for you. He loved you before, and He loved you first, and He knew you, and He knows you. And He's calling, He's knocking on the door, and He wants you to know Him at a more intimate level. So search for Him. Seek Him out. And may God bless you. And we'll see you next time